Welcome back to episode 358 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
It's your friendly neighborhood hockey-loving goofballs. Welcome to the Gong Show.
Hello, Hobby family. Sorry if we're a little frazzled getting started with today's show. We're late because Phil made us late.
You made me late, you jerk. I was snowblowing. I'm dying. I need a shower. I'm uncomfortable.
I want to see a show of hands on who agrees that Phil made us late. Victoria. Oh,
Victoria, you Judas?
Sorry. She didn't throw you under the bus like that, though. You really gave me my big break here.
I am a punctual man. I'm also a man who has to snowblow the driveway. So
yeah, fair enough. Anyway. You're getting well. Hello, Phil. Hello, Louie. Nobody cares about you. Hi, Victoria. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me here.
It's
so
early.
if anyone's not familiar, our friend Victoria, not Rebecca, as Phil has some weird Freudian thing going on. Reason 8,000 why we need to hire a psychiatrist to do a full, deep, and thorough mental evaluation. Victoria has been making some very amazing guest appearances on Friday Nights with Phil, and we thought, hey, it'd be fun to have her on the podcast. So here you are.
If she can hold that show together, this will be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move along.
Okay. Anything you want to say about anything you want to introduce yourself? Do you have like a favorite color? Do you like snowboarding?
Favorite color?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I'll go first. Green.
Thought it was
Purple.
yellow.
No, it's green. It's because I always wear yellow, canary yellow. I don't like yellow. I like canary yellow. What do you
Very
like,
flattering.
Victoria?
I like purple and pink, but I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Victoria. Been friends with Phil for a little bit now, and I'm excited to be here. My Instagram is at PumpedUpRips, and I also have TikTok. So if you guys want to follow me, that'd be great. Sorry,
I also
shameless
like
plug.
long walks on the beach.
No, do
I have
it.
a little doggy named Skittles.
Actually, his name is Primo, and I do like walks on the beach because I am a summer person. But winter sports, I guess, would be hockey and snowboarding.
There you go. Yeah, well, thank you for the intro. I know you come from a hockey family. You're involved in the Pokemon community, and can't wait to pick your brain about some of that stuff there.
So exciting.
And,
Yeah, for sure.
That's
we
this
do
on this
have a
show.
mute. First warning, Phil. We have a mute button. First warning. All right. Quick announcements before we run it or roll with today's show. Our Gong Show Reloaded 2026 Volume 1 pre-order is live in our Discord. So if you're a member there, you get the first crack at one of the only 250 boxes that we produced for this release. The checklist, of course, is up at hockeychecklist.com. That includes every single card and the exact photo of every single card in the release. We partnered again with our friends at AMG Collectibles in Halifax. That's in Canada, Phil. Not sure if you knew that.
Thank you.
And on this one, I'm very proud of the cards and checklists we came up with. In about a week or so, we'll make the boxes and cases available to anyone and everyone. So if you want to get in on the pre-order action and are looking for an amazing community of collectors to join, maybe it's a good time to check out our Patreon and get access to Discord. Something to think about there. One other quick hockeychecklist.com note. We did add the checklist for 2025-26 Allure. And we're going to do a deep dive on that in the upcoming release on Monday's show, because a week from now, or we're on Wednesday, that's kind of our first, I guess, significant release of 2026. Oh, geez.
I thought Black Diamond was.
Ooh.
Black Diamond came out a couple months ago. We're in 2026.
Okay.
The calendar year, the product to come out this year. Yeah, that's what I meant. Philip,
Yeah.
you want to give a preview of Friday Nights with Phil?
Yeah. It's going to be a great time. Oh, no, it is going to be a good time. Yeah, not that I wasn't lying. No, Dave's going to be in Ottawa.
Oh.
It's good. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay, shh, don't tell Dave. Like, Dave was like, yeah, nobody knows him in Ottawa. I'm like, I think I've been talking about it for about 3 months.
I think you have too. And
You have
Okay, well, so
Yeah.
anyways, Dave's not in Ottawa, but if he was, it'd be really, really cool. So we'll see what we can muster up. Victoria, you in Friday?
Yeah,
You
I'll
got
be there.
some? Yeah, okay, good. We'll do stuff.
It's just going to be like me here and then like you and Dave in the same screen.
I
Lucky
can't
you.
wait
Oh
to
my
see
God.
the both of them in that room Are you going to sit on each other's lap, Phil?
No, we're not going to be in here. Well, that'd be a little funny if it was. Yeah, I could put Dave on a stool. He'd probably have to sit on my lap, which the audience would, I'm sure, find funny.
He should sit on Captain Cardboard Conundrum's lap.
No, that's inappropriate.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen Phil's latest Mail Day video featuring we got another superhero sighting with Captain Cardboard Conundrum. You have to check that out on our YouTube. Also, our top 5 from this week. Phil, you did an amazing job on your video. I laughed very hard. So,
thanks,
good
Josh.
job. Good job by you, Phil.
I appreciate it.
Okay, one more announcement. Lastly, but not leastly, our show, this show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. Well, what does that mean? It means that we do rely on the support and help of listeners and watchers like yourself to cover our show expenses, produce more and better hockey card content, fund new superhero costumes for Phil. Everyone wants that.
Mm-hmm.
And even fund initiatives in a small way to grow the hockey hobby. It's very easy to support our show. You can do it for as little as $5 US a month. We've partnered with Patreon to do that. You can be one of the first, still 999 supporters. You get the Future Watch Gonger title at this point. You also get access to the Gong Show Discord. We have a exclusive show there, Behind the Bench, with our good friend Neil. And 5K Challenge is, I think, coming back soon. You get the Gong Show Reloaded pre-order and a whole bunch of other stuff, and then just chat with amazing people all day and show off your cards. That's like the most popular thing people tend to do there. If you want to support us, it's easy. Go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com. Search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. There's a link in the show description and both YouTube and podcast apps. And Babalooey, Bobalubai, Boobity, Skadoobity. Yo, we have 3 new patrons since our last show, and we want to thank them and give them a quick shout out.
We do. Shout out to number 1 on the list. Trunk Slam Chest.
Nice. I wonder if he's related to Hood Softly. I got nothing.
Yeah, stop right now.
Bonnet something. Anyways.
Yeah, Bonnet's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Next one, Rooster Cards and Wax.
Great name.
Okay, stop. We have to stop right here because
I'm
I was
trying
at Louis'
to blow
house.
by this. No.
We were doing Slap Sharks, and he was actually putting this on the screen. And he was like, oh, dang, it's a long enough name where I can't put it on one line. And he had the S after cards on the line lower.
Sandwax?
He's like, Rooster Card Sandwax?
They both work. They both work.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, buddy, who's next?
Well, we have Alexis R&D.
Research and development.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well, look at you, corporate.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, ready for the game plan?
Yep. Get to know your Hall of Famers first on the docket. Then it's, because everybody's asking for it, more hidden gems. After that, we'll get into some hobby news. Then, Victoria. She's going to dive into dissecting the Avs power play woes.
Nice.
What? Wait, whoa. Play. What? What woes? They have no woes.
They don't, and I can't wait to see this.
Well, I'm going to listen to this.
Wore the jersey. I came prepared.
Okay.
Let's go.
Whew. Then, new product releases. And we'll finish up with personal pickups.
Okay, let's get today's show rolling with our Get to Know Your Hall of Famer series. It's where we're profiling every single Hockey Hall of Fame player that's ever laced them up. We started with the very first Hall of Fame class elected in the year 1945 and have since been working our way to the present day. For each player, if you're new here, we do a quick bio, cover why you should care about them, then take a look or a little peek at their hobby market. Today's Hall of Famer we're going to learn more about is Elmer Lach. Anyone familiar with Elmer?
Fud.
Yeah. But
Well,
no,
Louis-
but yes, what Louis said.
No. I think Louis is much more familiar with the glue, right, Lou? Elmer's glue?
Was
What
there
glue?
some on my face?
Wasn't that like your favorite snack on the playground in school or something like
Why?
that? I don't know.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips as a kid? No. Why? I'm just wondering.
Victoria, Elmer, familiar with you, or is this going to be new
Does not
information?
compute. Not at
Okay.
all.
All right, well, let's learn about Elmer. Elmer James Lach lived from 1918 until passing away at the age of 95 years young. in 2015. Wow. Born in Nokomis, Saskatchewan, and died in Kirkland, Quebec. Elmer played hockey at 5'10" and 165 pounds. He was a left shot center, and in a professional career that lasted from 1940 until 1954, Lach played for one team and one team only, the Montreal Canadiens.
You're saying, like, I do you think patronizing is more respectful or less respectful?
It's funnier.
Just trying my best.
Fair enough. I'll comedy wins. You're right, Louis.
Okay. Elmer Lach won 3 Stanley Cups. His number 16 was retired by the Canadiens in 2009. Geez, took him a while. Mm-hmm. And just like Max Bentley from Monday's show, Lach was named in 2017 to the 100 greatest NHL players of all time. In 664 career NHL games, Lach scored 215 goals, added 408 assists for 623 points. After his career, Lach worked in public relations and sales for a transportation company for 30 years. That's so funny to think about. It's like, Connor McDavid's just going to be rich when he's done playing hockey. And these guys had to go and work at grocery stores and for shipping companies and stuff like that.
Well, at least he didn't go on the farm. I mean, farm work's great. It's hard work, but
yeah. Elmer was an avid golfer and would play until into his 90s, and for a while was known to be able to match his score with his age, which is pretty impressive, I think.
It's golf, though. Come on.
Harder than you think.
Golf's not easy, man. Golf's very difficult. I won't debate if it's a sport or not, but it's a lot of walking and it's a lot of math.
I just drive the golf cart.
Fair.
Golf's fun, man. Golf's great.
Elegant Elmer Lach grew up in the prairie of Saskatchewan, again, born in 1918. This is why you should care about Elmer. And his trip to the NHL took the long road. He had stops in senior hockey, full of bus trips, proving he could play center against men before the NHL ever really noticed him. The Maple Leafs reportedly didn't see enough to commit. So Lach took a shot with Montreal instead, and it sounded almost accidental. He showed up to the Canadiens camp with basically an overnight bag, not expecting a contract. Then Montreal scout Paul Haynes bought his rights for $100, to which Lach later called more money than I'd had in my pocket in my life. So, yeah, 1939, 1940, probably a lot of money back then.
Yeah, but what is that, like 10 grand? Like
no, less than that. Probably maybe 1,000,
way
2,000.
less. Yeah.
So didn't grow up with the silver spoon, that's for sure. As a rookie in 1940-41, he didn't light up the league either. In 43 games, had 7 goals, 14 assists, but teammates and opponents learned fast that he played hard, had a fearless style. Years later, the story stuck that he joked he took one suture for each of his points, which tells you exactly, I guess, how he played in that no helmet era. Year 2 was the gut check for Lach. He crashed into the boards in the very first game of the season, and it wrecked his ear. His shoulder, wrist, and elbow were basically trash, so he vanished from the lineup after just one appearance. And I guess kind of makes you think like the hot young prospects that get hurt very early in their career today too, where
wrecked him, damn near killed him.
There you go. When he came back in 1942-43, he didn't ease in. He exploded with 58 points in 45 games and looked like a top-line driver again. Montreal had its center back, and the league suddenly had another elite playmaker to worry about. Then came the night that still lives in the Canadiens' record books. On February 6, 1943, Lach piled up 6 assists in one game against Boston, a Montreal single game record that still stands. It wasn't a cute stat night. It was he controlled the entire game kind of performance. In 1943-44, coach Dick Irvin tried a combination that turned into legend. Lach in the middle, Toe Blake, who we talked about a few weeks ago, on the left, and Maurice Rocket Richard on the right. The punchline was born. Lach led the Canadiens in scoring with 72 points as Montreal ripped through the season and won the Stanley Cup, even sweeping Chicago in the final. That same 1944 playoff run showed why he mattered beyond the Rocket headlines. Lach was right at the top of the postseason playmaking pile, tying for the playoff lead in assists. When games tightened up, he was still creating. The 1944-45 season was a signature year. Lach led the NHL with 80 points in 50 games, 26 goals, 54 assists, and won the Hart Trophy as the league MVP. And it happened in the same season Richard scored 50 goals in 50 games. With Blake right there too, the punchline, was lighting it up every night. The wild part of that 1944-45 story is the scoreboard dominance. Lach, Richard, and Blake finished first, second, and third in NHL scoring.
That's insane.
That is wild.
That's crazy.
That's beautiful. Beautiful for the sport of hockey, man.
So not just a great line, a line that swallowed the league's entire point race. In 1945-46, Montreal climbed back on top and won another cup. Lach kept doing the center's dirty work, winning space, taking hits, and feeding chances. The punchline was still the engine, and he was the stabilizer in the middle. By the late 1940s, his body basically began to break down. He missed big chunks of time over years with a brutal list of injuries. But when he was in the lineup, Montreal still looked like Montreal. Structured, dangerous, and built to win because the puck kept finding number 16 in the middle of everything. In 1947-48, the NHL introduced the Art Ross Trophy, and Lach became the first ever winner, edging the scoring race with 61 points, including a career-high 30 goals. It felt like the official stamp and what everyone already knew. He wasn't just riding shotgun, he could lead the league. Even after the punchline era faded, Lach had another late career flex. He was named a first-team All-Star again in 1952, long after most players from his generation had slipped out of the top tier. That's your reminder he wasn't just a four-year wonder. He had real longevity. In the perfect final playing days exclamation point came in 1953. Montreal won the Stanley Cup, and Lach scored the cup-winning goal at 1:22 of overtime in Game 5. He retired in 1954 with 623 points in 664 games and 64 points in 76 playoff games. Then later got the ultimate legacy nods. The Hall of Fame in 1966. His number 16 retired in December 2009 and named one of the NHL's 100 greatest players in 2017.
Wow.
On that list again, man. You know what? It's embarrassing. He's always the player that I like, the three tenors. You have Luciano Pavarotti, you have Placido Domingo, and the third guy, I always forget his name. It's like Richard, Toe Blake, and it's coming to me. I feel like a bad fan, but I'm sorry, Elmer. What a storied career,
Mm-hmm.
Elmer Lach,
I'm shocked
rookie.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, well, we found this a lot. This is kind of why we do it, Victoria, because to smarten us all up about the game of hockey.
Give honor, give respect to like these pillars of our game. That's why it's really super important. Super important.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the Elmer Lach hobby market. His rookie card is in the 1940 O-Pee-Chee. It's the V301-2 set, card number 125. Not the best picture, I would say, but
is that drawing? Is it drawing?
No, I think it's a photo. It's just like very sepia almost.
Looks like a killer. Like, come in my white van.
Yeah.
What?
Don't say that about Elmer.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Crawl out his grave and beat the crap out of you. The PSA 3 pictured is a high-selling copy, sold for $1,105 US in June of 2024. This was again, so we're kind of in the era right now of these guys whose career started right during World War II, and then there was a weird kind of funky hockey card period where, of course, the world had much bigger manufacturing needs than producing hockey cards at that time, and so you got either kind of weird stuff like these very oversized cards or not much until after the war effort ended, in which his next playing days card would not come for 11 years until 1951, the very first Parkhurst set. It's card number 1 in the set, which is kind of interesting.
Awesome.
And the PSA 8.5 pictured is the highest selling copies that sold for a big number, 11,700 US in January of 2022. And again, this would have been, so one of the sort of oddities about vintage hockey is back in the day, there were no top loader binders, there was no TLBG, and most people either kept cards loose or kept them in sets held together by rubber bands. So card number 1, the first card and the last card were always the most damaged card in the set because it most often would have rubber band marks around them. So I think to find card number 1 in really good condition like this has to be incredibly rare.
Mm-hmm.
That's bright. Look at the ink on that. It looks fresh off the press.
Looking, yep, good looking card.
I know California Dave would go crazy for that Parker's card. He just eats that up.
Yeah,
he loves Parker.
He loves retro.
Yeah.
So Dave doesn't know anything before 2020.
I know.
That's why it's so much better. Yeah, Dave's all over this. Mega bid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the weirdest part is his favorite player is a guy whose career, all of his, was played in the 80s. Yeah, and Luc Robitaille, he doesn't collect any of his cards when he actually was a hockey player. So there you go. But there's a place for everyone in this hobby.
Mm.
Okay.
There is. Don't listen to Louis grumbling. There's a place for everybody in this hobby.
There's also a Elmer Lach Playing Days card in the 1952 Parker set. This was card number 6. And the PSA 9 copy that we're looking at on YouTube is a high seller. It sold for $1,305 US in September of 2008. We're showing the PSA 8 because the 2008 sale, I couldn't find the picture of that card. Holy old PSA slab, though, on this one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very OG. And the final Playing Days card for Elmer Lach is in the 1953 Parker set. There was actually 2 cards in the 1953 set for Elmer Lach. The first is card number 31, where the PSA 9 we're looking at sold for $1,525 US dollars in March of 2016. And then there's a dual player card with Lach and Rocket Richard. It's card number 30.
That's a great card.
Yeah, that's kind of
buddies. You've got a friend in me.
We're looking at PSA 9 on YouTube. It's a high seller. It sold for $2,558 US in March 2018. And that, boys and Victoria, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Elmer Lach.
Good job, Josh.
Nice.
Love it.
Well, next it's time for our monthly Hidden Gem segment. We just had somebody mailbag asking for this. So I thought, might as well do it now. It's where I scour checklists and I find cards that I think are cool and potentially still under the hobby radar for some people. But it's also where Phil makes faces on cards that he's heard of because he thinks that he's the only person in the hobby and everyone should know exactly what he knows.
I don't say anything. I let you do your thing.
No, you go, oh, how did you not know about that?
No, I don't say that. I can't stand it when I never say, oh, how did you not know about that? I hate it when I hear people say, how did you not know about that? Okay. The answer is easy. You didn't know.
How do you know?
Spot
you don't
on.
know?
Thank you. Nope. Victoria's vote of confidence. So
you're in my head about this for some reason.
Fighting with Josh.
Oh, come on. Judas again. That's 2.
It's 2. Keeping score. Okay, so I've come up with what I think are 4 hidden gems, cards or sets. And they're cards that I just like and I wanted to share some more information about. So this month's first hidden gem is from 2008-09 Ultra EX. It's the Ice Medallion. These are serial numbered out of 100. It's a base set parallel from 2008 Ultra EX. And again, because they're serial numbered, they'll be reasonably rare. Now, I know you don't like cursive, Phil, so you're going to, here you go with the mustache. I knew this one wouldn't be your favorite, but that's okay. It's not really a rookie chase, but there are 22 Hall of Fame players on the checklist, including some guys like Crosby and Ovechkin that are still, future Hall of Famers list. But some of the cards that I wanted to highlight from this are I did this for you, Baba Louie, the Marty Brodeur, which I think this card has an amazing photo. Do you have this card?
I do.
Yeah, it's a great photo.
It's a beaut, Clark.
These are super cheap too. So some of
Oh yeah.
We could do hidden gems and make them all $2,000 cards, but you can get a card like this for under $10.
Yep.
If you want it. And so just a fun card to own. Also on the checklist is Sergei Fedorov. I don't have a picture, but one note I want to make about him is, there's not a lot of cards for Fedorov that are post his playing day career because he doesn't sign or doesn't, he's kind of in Russia and the KHL thing and doesn't have an agreement with Upper Deck. So if you like Fedorov, that could be a fun chase. Next would be Teemu Selanne. Another one you can get for less than $10 raw. Now, these are going to be more expensive if they're PSA 10 or something like that. But then there's a Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg. There's a Madonna. Do you have the Madonna too, Baba Louie?
Nope.
All right. Well,
do you remember Do you remember when we asked Billy if they would ever redo this set? And he said, no, they can't. Do you remember why? Because Windows doesn't support their Windows 98 clip art program anymore. So they don't have the original files to make these cards. Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead. Who else do we got, Josh?
I'm just going to write down. So I need to talk to my therapist about this and work it out. Pavel Datsyuk is also on the checklist. Again, you get these for less than $10. I like this card. I think it's a great card. There's Paul Correa, and then there's some, as I mentioned, a couple current superstars. There's Sidney Crosby. Now these start to get a little more expensive. So top sale for a raw card is $115 on this one. There's an OV, and again, not a super valuable card if you're a Fleer fan. Fleer fan. And you like number cards, maybe this one's for you. So not for Phil, but I like 2008-09 Ultra EX Ice Medallion out of 100. The next one I knew about, but I hadn't really done a deep dive, and I want to buy a bunch of these now.
Do you?
It's 1993-94 Topps Premier Black Gold.
Great cards. Great pick.
Full disclosure, right? There is an O-Pee-Chee version of these, and I decided to go with Topps because I had to pick one. But I do want to mention the O-Pee-Chee version because what's cool about it is they're actually different photos of the player. Like I believe the Mario Lemieux in the O-Pee-Chee, he's in one of the black Penguins uniforms. So it's almost two separate chases that you could do because completely different photos, which I think is cool. So feel free to check out the O-Pee-Chee version as well. This is another card that's pretty cheap raw, but can get pretty spendy at top grades. I think too, like value wise, you can break up the 90s into a few eras where the mid to late 90s, that's where we had the insert explosion and where we see all the big, atomic refractors that go for thousands and thousands of dollars, that sort of thing. When it gets to the early 90s and it's still kind of in the junk wax era sort of vein, the hobby hasn't really caught on yet, even despite the fact that some of these cards can be pretty rare. Black Gold is an insert set that had 24 players on the checklist. The pack odds to hit any of the 24 cards is 1 in 72, meaning that any specific player, like in this case Mario Lemieux, would have been in 1 in 1,728 packs. Here's the thing, when it comes to the junk wax era and a set like 1993 Topps Premier, I mean, how much was printed? I mean, I like regular Topps, I'm sure a ton, but do you think they really printed billions of boxes of Topps Premier?
Yes.
You do?
There's so many of these cards, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
there's lots. A ton of them. I don't know. Okay.
I could be wrong. Like maybe the Topps Premier Black Gold is very specific, but I have like you can, I would assume you could buy the Gretzky's for like $10-15 online. So to me, that means there's an abundance of them.
Yeah, a little bit more expensive than that, but not much. Okay. So they're rare enough, but not super rare. So here's some of the highlights from the 24 players on the checklist. Lots of Hall of Famers again. You got Teemu Selanne, Wayne Gretzky. So PSA 10 will run you about $150 right now. The raw copy is about 20 US. So that would be about 30, 35 Canadian for.
It's a great card. And is this junk wax? 93 is junk wax, I guess, but why not pick wait for it, hidden gem out of the junk wax?
There you go.
This is a great pick.
Yeah.
There's the Mario Lemieux pictured. A PSA 10 sold in November for 185 US, and you can get a raw copy for a couple of bucks, maybe to your point. But again, what I like about this photo is it really shows the sheen of the gold in the foiling on the card or whatever Topps use then. And I think these just look really great. There's an Eric Lindros, there's a Ray Bork, Stevie Y, PSA 10s sell for pretty cheap on this, about $65. Only a pop 22 on the PSA 10 for what it's worth. There's a Brett Hall, and then Patrick Waugh.
You know what a common denominator of a lot of sharp looking cards is when they overlap. Like, do you see Patrick Waugh's melon there and his pads? They overlap the design.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have cards like that, I can't think off the top of my head, but they really pop. They give contrast, depth of field, you know?
Yeah, it gives a depth to the card. That's what I was just going to say, like a 3D effect. And
these don't really scream like Oh, sorry. I was just
go
gonna say
ahead.
these don't really like scream junk wax to me though. I think that's why they stand
Yeah, they're
out,
different, eh? Very different.
right? Like I cracked a whole bunch of packs that my dad had lying around, and they're very different from what this is. So yeah. I would grab a PSA 10 Wayne Gretzky for like $200 Canadian, no problem. That's cheap,
It's a sharp card
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if the early '90s ever catch on and get that hyper momentum that creates secondary market, more value, that who knows, right? Maybe not, but at the very end or at the very least, you get a cool card.
At least Wah found his goalie stick in this picture.
Go on.
Well, he's in the Canadiens.
I bought a card, and it's an amazing card, Victoria, and Patrick Waugh's holding a player stick. So it's
But yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Showed us.
No, wonderful. Okay, well, you have context now. Wonderful.
Okay, the next one is a card I'd never heard of, and I just stumbled across a few days ago, and this gets a little spendier. It's from the 1998-99 Pacific Paramount set. It's the Ice Galaxy insert, and there's two parallels, and I kind of picked both of them, cheated a little bit. It's both the silver and gold parallel, and like I said, these get a little bit spendy, and it's one of those. There's a couple things that are unique about this card. I think make it a little tricky if you want to run out and grab them. So you have to be a little bit cautious. So these are one of the 90s inserts that are not numbered, but have a commonly accepted print run. So silvers are believed to have a print run of only 50, and golds are believed to have only a print run of 10, which of course 10 being very rare. And this whole thing kind of reminds me of the Epics cards that are like exploding right now for thousands of dollars, where there's no like real proof, I don't think, of the print runs, but I think like those ones like have like their Epics moments or season or something like that have print runs of 30, and everyone just kind of agrees that it's sort of like a Young Guns acetate almost, right? Where Wives' Tale or Rumor sort of fits into it. So you have to, again, sort of buy into the fact that the print runs are very small on these, and you can find them referenced on a lot of like the old school checklist sites. So there is some information out there. Again, I mentioned it's an insert set. Now the base can be found in 1 in 97 packs. So even the base is decently rare. And then of course there's the aforementioned silver and gold parallels. Another wrinkle that, cause there's so much going on in this card, I kind of like it. It's like almost like over designed to the point it's good. And here's the other tricky element about trying to buy these. Almost akin to like from 96 Metal Universe, the Lethal Weapon and Lethal Weapon Superpower. It is really hard to tell the difference, like on eBay photos or ComC, between a base, gold, and silver. So if I was shelling out potentially 4 figures for like a Wayne Gretzky gold, I would have a hard time doing that based on an online raw photo and not having experience with these cards in person, or not having it graded where like you have like, let's say like the PSA insurance that it is actually the gold parallel there. Because I think it's the burst behind him is like the foiling, like that's either silver or gold, but depending on sort of the camera and the reflection of probably the flash from the camera, I spent a lot of time, I couldn't tell the difference. Have you anyone ever had one of these, Phil? You ever had in hand?
No, I don't know a lot about Pacific. I'm not very very well versed in that company and the cards that they've produced. There's no indicator on the back? Sometimes in my top stuff, little R means refractor, nothing like that, eh?
No.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Well, just don't buy it from anyone like 75 plus. They're like, where are my bifocals? You're like, yeah, never mind, man.
Well, there's only 10 players on the checklist. So they are Paul Kariya, Peter Forsberg. There's a Patrick Waugh. So raw gold sell for about 150 US, and you can pick up a raw silver for about 30. So there's a big, you can kind of see, I think I put the gold in the picture here. You can kind of see the gold and the foiling on this one. There's a Joe Sakic, Stevie Y. Now, raw copies will go between 100 and 115 US. But again, here's another gold, and this kind of looks very similar to the base to me, too. You can pick up a raw silver for about $30 US on the, on the Eiserman as well. There's a Marty Brodeur for you, Baba Louie.
I got a silver.
There's something very Latin America Catholic about this? I don't know. There's
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a very religious thing going on.
crown.
I don't know. Santa Maria, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like that like glowing crown.
Yeah,
that, like,
that's
Saint
what it,
has
yes,
behind
it's
them.
the halo behind
Yeah.
JC there. Yeah.
Stop encouraging.
I like the design though. Like it's almost cringe, but it's like kind of iconically 90s that
Yeah.
maybe in the moment it was cringe, but looking back like 30 years, it's like actually cool now.
It kind of has elementary school 90s class picture vibes, you know, like I don't know. I feel what you're putting down. I agree.
The big one, of course, would be Gretzky. He's in the Rangers uniform in this set. Now, a raw gold has sold for as much as $810 US.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, that was in November of 2021. Raw silver is sold for about 150. I should also mention too, like when you go and find these on eBay, they seem very condition sensitive, especially on the edges. I think they're foiled pretty much to the edge, and so they'll get a little rough. I don't know if there's any PSA 10s out there, for instance, of like the golds, if were only 10 copies were ever made. Then there's 3 other players in the checklist: Alexei Yashin, Eric Lindros, and Curtis Joseph.
Cujo.
Okay, last one. Now, a little more common for some people, but for someone like California Dave, maybe not. It's a card I love. Absolutely love it, and I just had to do it. It's a 2010-11 O-Pee-Chee Marquee Legends Black Rainbow Foil out of 100. And pictured right away is the Patrick Waugh. Now, I think it's one of the coolest cards in the hobby. I try to buy these cards whenever I can. It's a parallel of the massive sort of base set checklist that we know comes with O-Pee-Chee. So there's 600 total of these cards or players to choose from. And it's a list that includes 63 cards for Hall of Famers. And the big guys get really expensive, especially if you want like a high number or top graded one, like a PSA 10. But there's so many of them for legendary players like your Marcel Dion, Phil, that you can pick them up for like $10, $12.
Oh, yes, like you can.
So here's some of the checklist highlights. You have Pavel Datsyuk again. Raw copies sell for about 40. The big thing on these is going to be centering on the condition. And even if like you like raw copies, you don't care about if the corners are perfect. I'm kind of a centering snob, and so I have to find there's a number I pass on that just are too off center for me, and I can't get past that. There's a Marty Brodeur, a Teemu Selanne, Mike Modano, raw copy, again, $10. This card is weird too, because of course he's in the Dallas uniform, but it's a Red Wings card.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Wow.
How does that make you feel, Louis?
I don't like the card anyways, even if it was a Dallas card, so it doesn't matter.
You don't like it? I love the shield kind of design part of it.
That's weird.
Is that what? Okay, yeah, I don't know. There's out of all the Marquee Legends blacks, like have you seen the 2015-16? Oh, that is lights out.
That's my favorite.
2015-16?
No, this one, 2010.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the good listener, 2015-16. I'm telling you, it's pretty top tier. 12-13 is amazing too. Anyways,
there's a Mike Bossy, a Marcel Dion that we already mentioned for Phil, Patrick Waugh. Raw copies of Waugh sell for, I love this card, sell for 30 to 40 US. Stevie Y, Mario Lemieux, Gretzky, of course, who's in the Oilers uniform for this one. And PSA 10s go for about 175 US. Very young Wayne.
You like that, Victoria? It's got like a retro thing to it, eh?
Yeah,
obviously.
I like that.
I should mention to the good listener, a rainbow foil. You'd think it's a little refracty. There's nothing refracting about it. So they're great cards. They're beautiful, but you just keep them in their top loader. Keep them. They're very soft. They're soft cards. Just be careful.
I have this Gretzky in my top loader binder. So card I very much like. Then there's Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Sidney Crosby, Ovi. It has another one. I want to get an Ovechkin. But this is like where like people are asking like 350 US raw for these cards on eBay.
That looks awesome though. That should be a poster in a kid's room. Do kids have posters in their room anymore? I don't think so.
I don't know. How many kids' rooms do you hang out in?
One, and he kicks me out.
There you go. And then and then flowers. So I don't know. Overall thought on this round of hidden gems. Anyone have a favorite of the bunch?
Yeah, Marquee Legends right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the tops.
Paramount.
Yeah.
I like those.
I will go with the Topps Premier Black Gold.
You want to change your mind, Phil?
No. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that. We'll be back next week with another round of hidden gems.
Are you? I am a little disappointed in you. I thought you were going to do my condominium. Not condominium. I can't say the word. Pardon?
Compendium.
Is that? I don't know if that's it. The heart and soul.
Give
the heart
a
and
little
soul.
bit
Like
of
that.
heart and soul.
Like the
Crosby. Yeah. I thought you were going to do that one.
He doesn't
Maybe
like
I
it.
will.
No, I know why he didn't do it, Louis. Here, Victoria, I'll let you know a little something. Josh talks about things after he buys them. As you should. I do too. I do. Yeah, forget it. I used to be nice, and then people would, not be nice back. So
No, for the record, I didn't buy any of these this time.
no,
because
you already had them.
No,
You had some. Yeah.
I had one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have one. I wanted to buy a black gold, but it was too off-centered, the one that I wanted, and I couldn't get past. I bought another card instead that you'll find in personal pickups at a future date.
Okay.
Because I actually had a card canceled. You know the card I sent to you, Phil?
No.
Like that I was really excited that I got? Well, a day later I got a message saying, oh, we don't have this anymore.
The PMG?
Yeah, the Pablo Bure PMG.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. That's not cool. There's a lot of silly people on eBay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. I'm going to move on because that makes me sad. Okay. Slab Sharks, the Gongshow partner sponsor. We're thankful for their support of our show. The very first Slab Sharks APEC auction is live right now. So they're back at it after the holiday break. Ends next Thursday. There's 90 cards in the auction. They're all bangers. I think all valued at over $5,000. I picked just 3 to kind of highlight, give people a taste as to what's in the auction. Start off the bat with a huge card, a 2005-06 The Cup, Sidney Crosby Gold Rainbow out of 87, graded BGS 8.510. Very, very nice card.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make this one anymore, right? Because now they just do the gold.
Yeah.
But these were numbered out of the player's number, so that's why it's out of 87. And hence why the OV is out of 8 in that one. Next one is a 2015-16 Exquisite Collection. Connor McDavid, RPA out of 97, graded BGS 9.510. Kind of a perfect RPA of McDavid, I think. Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a huge patch. Great auto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little wide on the... it's a good auto. It's a good auto. I'm just being picky.
And then finally, a card that came through us here in the U.S., 2023-24 The Cup, Connor Bedard, honorable numbers, rookie patch auto. It's out of 98. It's raw. Has really cool patches. I love the 9 in particular with the... I don't know. It just looks like...
I like his auto. I don't know why I think his autograph's great. It's getting more consistent. He'll figure it out. And it's 10,000 times better than any other kid I'm collecting.
Mm-hmm. Now, these APEC auctions happen once, only every 3 months, so you don't want to miss them. Plus, today, the very first weekly auction of 2026 begins. Let's go. Very excited. We'll be back next Thursday with our Slab Sharks live show, recapping all the best cards closing in the auction. More info on that later on in the week. And if you haven't tried using Slab Sharks to help sell your cards, then we'd strongly recommend giving them a shot. You will not regret it. Slab Sharks makes it simple to sell your cards on eBay. They do all the work, handle every issue, plus your cards get listed in the biggest weekly hockey auction there is. Meaning you'll have tons of hockey card loving eyeballs looking at your auctions each week. And if you're an American consignor, we partnered with Slab Sharks to make it simple to get your cards in the auction. All you have to do is ship them to us and we get them to Slab Sharks for you. There's no worry or hassle with international shipping. We got you. Don't worry. For complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slabsharks.com. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Hobby news. Victoria said.
Hobby news.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Love it. All right, we got to start out hobby news with apologies to our Canadian friends here that you guys get to join the loser pile with Baba Louie and I, as in your team, Team Canada, You guys lost in the semifinals. Well, at least you made it to the semifinals. So apparently, Victoria and Phil, Czechia has your number. You guys 3 years in a row now. They've knocked you out of the tournament. How do we feel about that?
I don't feel
Sad.
good. Yeah, I'm very sad. Watching the game was worse. Czechia's relentless checking and they bent Canada to their will, and they wanted it more. I'll keep it simple. It was a frustrating game to watch. I don't want to blame refs. I'll blame refs for both there was weird penalties on both teams. There was a 5-on-3. I don't want to break down the game. It's unfortunate. I don't think it's going to get better. Sure, we might win next year and the year after, and everyone thinks it's all good. I have a bit of a different take, and I'm going to stand on this hill, and I will die on this hill. The pursuit of excellence is a bad thing in the last 5 to 6 years, especially more concentrated in the last few years. And that is why I don't think my country, it's a lagging indicator. Being the best at sports isn't really societally accepted anymore. It's kind of not a good thing, you know? I know that's not my reality, and that's not a lot of people who's listening's reality, but it's the reality of the kids at school and universities and colleges and high schools. Everybody's a winner. When we joked when we were children that people get participation ribbons, a lot of people, our generation, got into educator roles and leadership roles, and it was payback time. And I firmly believe trying to be the best at anything, let alone sports, a violent sport like hockey, is not welcomed and on a mass scale. And I think this is just a little tidbit of a lot more to come. And I will die on this hill. We have forgotten how to teach people to be best at the thing they do. We've replaced it with other priorities. So that's how I feel. I'm very deep. I'm very emotional about this loss. It's very upsetting, and I don't think it'll get better. Sure, if we win the next years, like I said, it's a lagging indicator. The game of hockey is up for grabs right now. That's how I feel. Sorry,
was the game on at your house, Victoria?
It was. I was very ill, so I couldn't watch. However, my husband did. I mean, like, we've dominated so many World Juniors. Like, maybe this is just me being nice, but like, it's kind of nice to see like a European team like do well.
Oh, come on! No, no.
True, and like, I'm not. It's so true though, and I'm not like super emotional about this loss. I don't know why. Maybe it's because like the Olympics are coming up, so I'm just kind of locked in on that. But
They
like,
should be used to losing though.
Oh,
No,
sorry, Phil.
it's not good that we
on the
lost.
same page today.
It's not good. It's not good at all. We didn't. The biggest overall I can say is we didn't want it enough. Good on Czechia. They good on them. They wanted it. They were hungry and they ate. They ate well. It's crazy.
how did Canada as a whole react to this? Are we at a national emergency status? Did people not care? Where do we fall on the spectrum there?
I'm not wired into where people amalgamate their whereas at Twitter, there's no newspaper anymore. There's no local newspaper. There's no city newspaper. There's no local newspaper. There's no meeting spot for anybody. The sense of community is gone. So when you ask me community questions, I have no idea. I have no clue. I only know what YouTube Jeff Merrick thinks and Elliot Friedman. Those are the realities I live in right now.
Where's the blame being placed?
Well, I think I placed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he put the finger on the blame.
Do you agree, Victoria? You don't have to. You
I don't know,
disagree.
like-
It's a bit...
Like, I do. I see what you're saying. I wonder if it's because there's less like patriotism in the past few years in terms of playing for your country. I wonder if Europe is holding on to that a bit more than Canadians are. And I don't know, like maybe that's just an indicator of the like the climate in Canada lately. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm
How
looking
could
at
even-
it from that lens.
I could go deeper. I mean, less people are having kids. Everyone says hockey's so expensive. Yes,
right.
hockey is very expensive. I agree, but that's not why we're losing. Like what the law of averages? You know what I mean? Like we owned hockey because we ate, pooped, slept, and bled this game. National unity every Saturday night. Even non-hockey players would stop. Bars would stop to listen to Don Cherry on Coach's Corner The theme song of Hockey Night in Canada is our national anthem. And they changed that. And that. They changed both.
I think you're just butthurt because this is supposed to be Canada's game and everybody else is just catching up.
I called this a year ago. What did I say? I got big flack in the comments. One of the reasons I don't read the comments. It was somebody called me, I'm anti-patriot. Someone told me to move to America. Yeah, here we are. Truth hurts, eh? Listen, I have friends that coach hockey teams. They're not having a good time either. Parents have never been more involved, right? Do you know how much my kid paid for it? Do you know how much I cost my kid to have a hockey stick? Like, that's a coach's fault.
Well, and the push in youth sports is not to be a productive member of a team and to learn a team game. It's my kid needs to score 50 goals this year so that he makes it to juniors. Or here in the U.S., the more common refrain is to get a college scholarship, right? That it's all about me, me, me.
We need a plethora of positive role models, hundreds. We need hundreds of male and female role models that are strong, resilient, that say winning is okay, that say, what discipline is okay. That's what we need back. And that'll take years. Let's say I snap my fingers and that all happened right now. It's going to take another 10, 15 years for that to manifest into a reality. My opinion, right?
I blame it more on.
I do feel strong about them.
I blame it more on parents than anything. Not the kids.
Kids don't know how to win anymore, man. Kids don't know how to pursue something. Kids don't know how to focus and lose themselves in a thing and be an expert at it.
No, that's not the problem. What this correlates to that problem. It's the parents beating the kids down, saying you're supposed to be this. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. I brought you here. We moved here. I put you in this school so you could shine and that's half the problem is the parents are making the kids feel like crap if they're not performing to their standard, and the kids are just getting sick of it too.
I think we're kind of talking about two different things.
Oh, really?
Totally. We should unpack this in I'd love it. No, because
I meant more on a national level.
Yeah. This is like my background. Youth sport is my background.
Well, so
youth sports is a nightmare because of parents.
Yeah,
parents suck and they're ruining it. Honestly, it's like I'm out of that now, and I couldn't be happier. As much as I love sports, the fact that I don't have to deal with, like I said, in the case of hockey, everybody's parent thinks their kid needs to be Mario Lemieux, and they won't accept anything else. And you have just crazy stories about, I'm not named the captain of the team, so I'm transferring schools.
I played hockey all growing up. I can think of two parents with two of the kids. Yeah, it got weird. It got kind of, the politics was affected it more. A lot of the things we see online, I didn't experience. And I played rep hockey. I ended in house league. I had way more fun. No one's screaming in the stands there. Well, I didn't experience that level of crazy family stuff. I didn't. I've seen it online a lot. I get Victoria. I mean, you're in it, so you see it more. My friend Eric has told me crazy stories that I'm just like, my jaw drops. I'm grateful. I didn't see any unhinged uncles.
There was always, when we were growing up, the one kid whose dad was at every practice, and you were like, dude, why does your dad come to practices?
Really?
That's what I seem to remember. But so Victoria, you're involved in it. Do you agree that the parents are kind of a major problem, or is it something else?
Well, yeah, like when I say I'm involved with it, it's not that like I'm currently doing it, but like I've obviously played hockey and been in a hockey family for 20 years of my life. But this was like sort of my PhD background, like youth sport, youth physical activity, behavior change and motivation and stuff like that. So yeah, like I would say it's parents, of course, but it's so interesting what social media has done for youth sport. Like when I was like studying, I'd, browse social media, and like 10-year-old kids have like a highlight reel of their like plays on Instagram, and it's managed by their parents. And that I found that to be like so bizarre. And I don't know if necessarily like parents have gotten harder over the years, because like I look back and I like my parents were hard on us, but I don't know if it's differences in traits of the child, because when my parents were hard on us, it just like made us want to do better. Like there was just a certain level of expectation that my parents had for me, which made me, try to excel in as many things as I could. And I don't know if that's, if kids these days are wired like that. And I don't know if I can make a parallel, but I saw this on Instagram and it's so interesting. Like, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to loop back, but video games in the 90s and video games in today's world are so different. And I wonder if it's rewiring children's brains, because when we played video games, there was no checkpoint here, go to this. You were navigating this world on your own, learning how to beat the final boss instead of getting all of this help. And I wonder if kids' brains now are wired differently, because if you look at, say, the Pokemon game right now, it's very linear. There's a point A and you need to get to point B to get you to point C, and then you beat the final gym boss. And I think that those things that kids have engaged in the 90s and early 2000s compared to the 2020s right now are so different. And I think that is literally rewiring kids' brains to take feedback and learn different traits to get them through life. I think I kind of talked about this a few weeks ago on Phil's Friday night.
That was awesome.
Thing. Yeah. There's so many factors that go into this.
I think every generation says this, but I'm sure glad I grew up in the 80s and 90s and don't have to navigate all the craziness that is today. So yeah, whatever the reason is, well, both Canada and the US are out, and Sweden, to your point, Victoria, won the World Juniors for the third time ever by they beat Czechia on Monday night by a score of 4-2. They had won previously in 1981 and then 2012. So I guess very exciting for our European friends of the show, but a little anticlimactic for us North Americans. Now there's a bunch of award winners. We're going to start with the MVP, and oh boy, this is going to be brutal. How do you say this one? Do you have a PhD in speaking Czech, Victoria? Czech.
I'll give it a go. Wojtek Chihar.
Okay.
In Italian, is a hard CH, so that's what I'm going with.
I would have gone with Wojtek Chihar. But I'm an American, and we just plow forward. Okay, so he was the MVP. He was the 59th overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft by the Kings, California Dave. You'll get to.
Do you guys? Did you watch any of the Swedish games? Do you Stenberg? The Stenberg kid on Sweden. I don't know how that kid didn't win this. This Sahara's amazing. Wojtek. I think that's Wojtek.
Okay,
but Stenberg stood. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but that Stenberg kid from Sweden is Top Gun. Holy moly.
Yeah, you had a weird instance where it's like when McDavid won the Conn Smythe when they lost to Florida and had a guy from the losing team win the tournament MVP. He led Czechia with 12 points in the tournament. The best goalkeeper award went to Love Harnenstam.
Oh, so cute.
It's a great name. He was a 2025 fifth rounder for the Blues. I guess the Oilers didn't need him, right? They never picked him. Best defender, Adam Juracek from Czechia. He was a 2024 16th overall pick by the Blues. Now, we have his older brother on the Wild, and I'd immediately like to propose a trade because I'm not a big fan. And best forward, Anton Frondell from Sweden. He was the third overall pick by the Blackhawks in last summer's draft.
Great tournament. Frondell played phenomenal. Every game I saw, he was amazing.
Then I got a little confused because the All-Star team has different players than people that maybe won the best forward and defender. So somehow I don't get that. But on the All-Star team for goalie, you have Love, Harnenstam, defense, Zane Parik, who is pretty awesome for Team Canada. Tomas Galvis for Czechia, forwards Michael Haig for Canada, Anton Frondell for Sweden, and then Wojtek Chihar.
Wojtek. I had a neighbor named Wojtek. Yeah, it's Wojtek.
Okay. Weird. No Americans on any of that.
What?
Oh yeah, we stunk in the tournament.
Yeah, poopy pants.
Okay, next story. December. We had another trading card sales record. The story comes from collect.com. In the month of December, Card Ladder logged more than 5.96 million trading card transactions, which is the most ever, barely nudging out last August previous record of 5.95 million. Well, by a whisker, right? Like 0.01 million. As far as total amount spent, December saw 381 million spent on the public marketplaces per card letter, which is not a record, but is the fourth highest total to date. This always blows my mind when you see these. Of the 381 million spent, 297 million of that, or 78%, was spent on eBay. So by far, but you look at like our hobby right now, where we have, PSA has about 80% market share, and so does eBay. You have two companies that really dominate so much of the landscape, which is, again, is wild to think about. Now, how long does this last? We don't know, of course. The hobby still feels, more or less pretty healthy for me. I don't know. How do you guys feel about hobby health? Maybe I'll start with Victoria, because I'm curious on the Pokemon side, where last year was like crazy explosion. What's the feeling right now? Are you predicting 2026 to be more of the same? Is there going to be a regression of some sort, or what are you thinking?
I don't see a regression in the future at all. This is actually February 2026 is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. So if anything, we might see like an increase in prices and increase of demand. But luckily, towards the end of 2025, we saw a market correction. So a lot of cards that were like super pumped came back to like normal prices, more affordable prices. And actually, One Piece has started taking off compared to Pokemon. One Piece literally exploded in the past couple of months. I would say the last month or two. I think the hobby in TCG in general is very healthy. Like there's an influx of people all the time. I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Huh. Okay, I have a very newbie Pokemon question to ask you that I've kind of always wondered about. So I get like when people do the compare and contrast between TCG and sports cards, and I get some of the benefits on the TCG side where they talk about, Pikachu can't tear his ACL or get arrested. We don't think so.
Beat up a cat, get a prostitute, all the above.
Or stink in a season, that sort of thing that can affect their hobby market. But how do they keep the cards fresh, right? When you have 30 years and multiple sets a year, is it new characters that drive interest in TCG? Or because it's like, how many times can we design a Pikachu card?
Right. So that's a really good question. So I would say there's two angles to this. You have the collecting side, and the easiest way that they keep things fresh is obviously announcing new sets that feature a different Pokemon. But also the artwork that comes out like year after year just gets so much more impressive. If you're interested in art and you're interested in different art styles, like Pokemon is incredible for it. The cards now look nothing like they did 25 years ago when I started collecting. But then I would also say the other thing that keeps things fresh is for the actual people who play the TCG. So there's always new types of cards that you can incorporate into your deck. And the TCG world, like if you play, that's literally insane. Like there's conventions all over the world, tournaments all over the world. And in terms of new characters, there's actually going to be another generation of Pokemon characters, I guess you could call that, coming out, I believe, this year. So there's a lot going on, and I think Pokemon does a really great job in making sure that people stay interested in the hobby for sure. There's always something for everybody, whether you're into like vintage or whether you're into modern or mid-era. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
They've mastered marketing, basically, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say
like
so.
that's what it is.
Sure.
It's more marketing than a game. I mean, I don't know. That's what it seems like from the outside looking in, anyways.
Just has such wide appeal. But yeah, like I said, the hobby seems overall in a pretty good place. I really do prescribe to the notion too that more than total dollars spent, the quantity of transactions is almost a better indicator of hobby health, and that we had another record month, especially in December, where, as we know, the last week gets a little squirrely when it comes to family obligations, and just it's the weirdest week of the year business wise. And so very impressive to me that, again, almost 6 million different trading card transactions in public marketplaces is wild.
The hobbies never seemed. Aren't we the last people we should be asking though? Because we're a little biased. My everyday is, I talk to somebody about some type of cards. So the hobby's never been stronger, if you ask me. But I had no idea there was even hockey card social media in 2021. I had no idea, no clue. So I don't. Is that maybe like a false positive? To me, the shows I go to. The shows I go to, I've never been.
We're all in.
Yeah, but the shows I go to have never been busier, including the Ottawa shows. Even now, TCG has its own day. The hockey's still flying. So December was a little slower. November was bumping. Summer's a bit slow. I don't know. I feel we should support each other. If anyone listening is like, why are we talking about TCG or Pokemon? Listen, man, we should be supporting each other. This is a tangible thing. It's a tangible asset in some viewpoints. They are, right? Listen, they are. If we can get men and women and kids to not be on a screen, it's a win. It's an absolute win. Look, I picked up painting. Oh, if your friend sucks and they picked up painting, don't tell them. Tell them the beautiful lie. They're great at painting. Get anything off of a computer screen, I think, is a good thing. And I love computer screens, right? But balance.
It all falls under the umbrella of collecting, right? And so the more popular collecting in general becomes, it's the high tide raises all ships philosophy, is that it helps us all. And I think that collecting is becoming more and more popular. And part of it is the financial aspect to it. It's a form of investing that people can understand. I mean, try to break down how to make money on Wall Street or in the stock market. And it's so overly complicated. You have institutional firms that manipulate it so much you almost can't win as an individual investor. So what we all do is like mail it in, and our 401k or whatever you guys have in Canada that's equivalent to that. And so with collectibles, it's something that is nostalgic, that you can harken back to, that's very emotive and brings you joy. And then there's the financial aspect to it, which we all participate to a varying degree, but it does make it interesting, right? When you enter that sort of financial component,
the X factor. It's a nice X factor, right?
It makes sense to me. Okay, here's another story that comes from GemRate, and to kind of round out hobby news, I just thought this was interesting. So once a year, they release an updated list of the top 50 graded athletes of all time. And
Michael Jordan, obviously, right?
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, there's no hockey players in the top 50.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Not shocked there. But there are some noteworthy movers and shakers on the 2025 list, so I thought it was worth us talking about. Okay, so check this out. Mind-blowing thing number one, Shohei Ohtani is now the second most graded athlete ever.
Wow. Well, he's greatest baseball player ever. I mean, how could he not be?
Yeah.
Right?
So 1.13 million cards graded already for Shohei Ohtani. And isn't his rookie year in 2018? So that's over 7 years.
Is that it? Oh my
of
God.
Cards. Now that's only behind Michael Jordan's 2.53 million total cards graded, which is crazy. So he's got a lot of catching up to do, and probably will never touch Jordan. That sounded gross. Then Ken Griffey Jr. is third with 1.12 million. LeBron James is the only other athlete with more than 1 million cards graded at 1.05 million. Then you have Kobe at 979,000. Victor Wembanyama, who's 2023 rookie, 2024, something like that. 628,000 cards graded already. Then Mickey Mantle. This one kind of caught me by surprise because we all think of like Mickey Mantle baseball cards as being like so rare.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's 650,000 that have been graded alone, so they're not like super rare. But Then you have Derek Jeter at 624,000, Tom Brady 609,000, and Nolan Ryan rounds out the top 10 at 585. Anyone on that list surprise you that they would be in the top
Jeter.
10?
That's I listen. I know. I don't know. I guess he's that popular. I mean, he is. He's what surprises me the most on that list. I don't know much about Wembanyama. Is he the best player in the NBA?
No.
No, but here's what for me always separates basketball from other sports is that you have, and like LeBron very much fits into this category. If you have the opportunity to see LeBron James in person, it will freeze your brain that a dude that big can run that fast, can jump that high, and is that agile. It doesn't compute. Mm-hmm. He is so big, and you know we think of like the big, like skinny, lanky, sort of awkward, tall people. Wembanyama is a whole. So LeBron is like 6'9", 6'10", and more built like a tight end, like 280 pounds. Victor Wembanyama is 7'4" and can play guard. He's 7
I don't know
feet.
what that means. He's 7'4", and he's like athletic and agile.
He's super athletic and super agile.
He should go in MMA. Go in UFC.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that would work, but he played like a man that size. I mean, that's like, well, here we'll let Victoria comment because this is, again, right in your wheelhouse. But you're stretching sort of the limits of what the human body can manage at 7'4", and there's no way a man that big should be that coordinated, right?
Well, gravity. I mean, physics.
Totally.
Like what? That's kind of where my brain goes.
Well, you get into like heart and circulation issues when you're that tall because like your toes are like a long way from your heart.
His feet are always cold, probably, right?
That's the beautiful thing of sports, right? Like the human body literally just stretches any sort of theories. We're always pushing boundaries. I think that's like the coolest thing about sports. And Victor Wembanyama was like a huge like promised athlete, I guess, in his rookie year. And I think he's doing well. I don't know much about the NBA, but
he's what they call a unicorn in the NBA, right? A player that there's no historical comparative to, and it's just gonna, like with him, of course, at his size, and he's still very young. I think he came into the league at 18 years old, and so it's still a boy's body. It's like how his body will mature and will it hold up. A lot of really tall basketball players have serious feet issues that will derail their like arch issues and stuff like that can get in the way. But a man that big should not be able to play a sport like he can. He is so agile. It's almost looks weird because he's kind of out there like a little shifty 5'10" guy moving around.
But he just dropped he doesn't have to shoot, right? He just puts the ball in the hoop.
He can dunk without leaving his feet.
So is that a dunk?
Yeah,
well, technically, probably.
So
yeah.
Shouldn't he just stand at the net all the time? Is that what a guard is? He stands at the net.
Well, there's other very big men.
Put me in the coach. Pass him the ball. Yeah, throws it in.
The big thing is that he can shoot 3-pointers, which is very big in the NBA and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a whole thing. But okay, a couple more things on this that I think are interesting. So there are new additions to the top 50 list in 2025, where Jaden Daniels, who wasn't on in 2024, came in at number 28. Caitlin Clark at number 34, the only female on the top 50 list. So that's kind of cool. Ellie De La Cruz is the 38th most graded athlete of all time. Paul Skeens, 47, and then Lionel Messi at number 50. So if you have 5 people that get added to the top 50 all-time list, so you have 5 people that come off. And so here are the athletes that slid off the list for 2025. You have Trae Young, KD, Kevin Durant. That's a little surprising, given he's one of the regarded all-time great in basketball. Randy Johnson, the big
really,
unit. Huh. Sammy Sosa off the top 50, and then Wander Franco. I guess good riddance there, but
that's probably right. He's the bad guy, right? Yeah. I don't follow baseball like crazy, but I'm surprised the Cincinnati Red player made that list. That's pretty crazy.
I think his cards have been very, very popular, but I don't not
clearly
baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought he came out of the gate. Well, I won't talk. I don't know too much about it. So.
All All right, Victoria, you ready? Talk some Colorado Avalanche.
Oh,
right, the conch is yours. Yeah. Let's go.
The conch is yours.
All right.
Conch.
So we're going to be talking about dissecting the Colorado Avalanche power play woes. So first, I want to talk about sort of what is going on in Colorado. And I think we have a visual.
Oh, I got to hit the right button. Sorry, I've had them up for like a minute.
It's okay. Thank you. So what in the world is going on in Colorado? Let's break it down. Obviously, they are first in the Central Division, just about halfway through the season now. And it's not even close. So Dallas and the Minnesota Wild are sitting in the 2 and 3 spot in that division, 6 wins behind. Now, this was updated as of yesterday. I know the Avs had a game. I'm not sure if they won or lost there. But what is shockingly noteworthy that I want to point out is the goals for, goals against statistics here. So Colorado has a whopping 165 goals for halfway through the season and only 93 goals against. So they're not even in the triple digits like everybody else. Like if you take a look, Dallas has 117 goals against and the Wild have 119. So on paper, just by these statistics, you could say that the Colorado Avalanche are just built different. If we look at the average goals for, goals against per game, just on that white picture there, they're averaging about 4 goals a game and only giving up 2. And that disparity, how that differs compared to every other team, just by looking at that graph, is really, really, really cool to me, just as a data person. So I saw this really cool infographic by Sportsball on Instagram. I highly recommend people check them out if you are a data nerd like myself, talking about what I'm going to be coining the Colorado conundrum. So they score rapidly at 5 versus 5, the fastest in the league, in fact, but they are the slowest team to score on the power play, third slowest team. The Avs power play conversion rate is between 15 and 17%, way below the league average of 21%. So the Colorado Avalanche right now rank 28th in the NHL for power play conversions. And the Avs are only 46% more efficient at scoring on the power play. And to put that into perspective, the Oilers are 500% more efficient at scoring on the power play.
Holy moly.
Not a surprising statistic, but there is a 450% disparity between those two teams. And you can see how far down the list Colorado really is.
It's a good spot for them.
This is like, it doesn't compute for me. Like somebody who's so into numbers and just trying to understand things.
Victoria's
I don't
theories.
know.
I love it. That's great.
I made up some theories and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say because you guys watch a lot more hockey than I do. I'm starting to get back into it slowly, but here's what my brain is churning right now. So I looked at the Wedgwood Blackwood one. It seems to me like they're running a 1A, 1B goalie rotation. I think Wedgwood obviously has, I believe, a few more games started than Blackwood, but their goals against average is still like hovering around the 2. So I would say they're like pretty on par with each other. And I feel like maybe, I thought maybe they're just not getting enough shots on goal during the power play. And then I looked into the numbers and it's very obvious that they're not having that problem. They're averaging 34.5 shots on goal per game. That's first in the league. So then I thought, okay, maybe are these quality scoring chances, quality versus quantity issue here, perhaps. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's too many turnovers. Maybe they're trying to be cute on the power play. Maybe they're going for too many stretch passes that get turned over. Who knows? And then my last theory here is, could this be a personnel or a rotation issue? Maybe they just haven't figured out the secret sauce for their power play line. And maybe that's something they need to focus on the back half of the season. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love to hear if anyone has any theories that they'd like to contribute.
Well, you blew my mind. I apologize for laughing at you off air. I didn't think Colorado had any weakness in their armor. I do. This is funny. I did hear this yesterday, so I can kind of add something. I wouldn't know this normally if I didn't listen yesterday, but I'm pretty sure Ray Bennett is an assistant coach. Well, I know Ray Bennett's an assistant coach on Colorado. I believe he runs the power play, and he took that over from Hackstall last year, who got fired. I think. I don't know if he got fired or left, but so sometimes I'm not making excuses, but sometimes new systems take a while to get going. I didn't realize some of the big deltas you were giving with that Edmonton comparison. And I thought Colorado's penalty kill was top 5 in the league on top of it. So this is a big head scratcher. I don't have much to say. Like, who's on? Like, I'm assuming Cale Makar is on the first play unit, right? Brock Nelson.
Yeah, we got McKinnon.
Okay.
But that's where I think the biggest problem is that Colorado's power play right now is too predictable. It's always a drop, too many drop passes coming in a zone. It's always to McKinnon. Once they get in the zone, if they can get in the zone on that, which is, that's one of their biggest things that I see. Once they get set up in their group, it's too static. It's whatever they're trying to do is not working. They don't have a net front presence for guys for tipping and getting in front of the net. The goalies are seeing everything, I think, is one of the other biggest issues I see with Colorado. And then, if I remember right, aren't they changing players around constantly on this first power play unit lately?
Yes, I think so. So, like, from what I had read about, it seems like they're trying to, like, move people around and figure things out. I don't know if they've I don't know if they've nailed it yet. And it sounds like it's personnel / a rotation issue.
I haven't watched a Colorado game all year. I got to be very honest. I'm asking, like, I'm just trying to guess who would lead. So their first line power play unit would be easy. Like, who'd be on this? Like Ross Colton, I guess, and Bernsey.
Well, no, I guess so. Right now it's Brock Nelson, Martin HS, Nichushkin, McKinnon, and Makar.
First PP.
Why aren't they planting like Nichushkin and is it Lehkonen? I mean, those are two guys you want right in front of the net.
Well, maybe this is where they miss Mikko Rantanen a little bit, and that big body.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So first of all, none of us are diehard Avs fans. We've all acknowledged that. So this is a great opportunity for people in the comments to chime in and educate us a little bit. If you watch your team, I'm sure we'll hear from Portman.
Yeah. Dean Portman
with some death metal in the background. But no, that's good, though. We want to, Dean. So chime in. What I would say, though, about what's interesting, to your point, Victoria, maybe I don't know the reason why, but there are a couple of takeaways that I think about. First of all, when you go back to the goalie thing and you think of potential Achilles heels, because Colorado is a total wagon right now. I mean, they are dominating the NHL. Well, what could trip them up in the playoffs? I don't love their goalie combination. Yeah, there's a big goal differential right now, so you can't disparage that too much. But I'm not super confident rocking the Wedgwood and who else? I just slipped my in Westwood in Blackwood and Wedgwood into the playoffs. The second thing that's kind of curious to me about this, and again maybe a potential pitfall, is in the playoffs when it tightens up and you really rely on the power play to score goals. If they're struggling, that could be an issue if they don't figure it out before then.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see how they won't. Like, it's just, they're such a powerhouse. I don't know. On paper, they're terrifying, man. They're terrifying. Tampa Bay terrifies me too in the East. Everyone's like, "Oh, the East is wide open." I'm like, "Have you watched a Tampa Bay Lightning game?" Oh my god! I don't see how that's not the final. I know there's still half a season to go, and the Olympics are going to be a wrench. But I am blown away at your stats, Victoria. I cannot believe that stuff you just said.
Crazy.
Insane.
Good report.
I wonder what their coaches in the on the whiteboard. They must be like, "Oh my god!" Like, we're perfect at everything else except that thing. Okay.
Well, and to the point too about like constantly changing, Louis, forgive me if I'm remembering, was it Evison that constantly changed the lines? like that I would find that super frustrating. Like I know that there's different theories about that, of course, but when you're again trying to figure stuff out and like you're rolling out different lineups every single game, it seems like I don't understand how you develop continuity.
No, you don't. And you need to establish that continuity early. And if you're going to make the change though, you need to play with it I would usually make that switch during a game, during a period, see what comes out of it, so you don't blow a whole game on an oops. I know you can change it back, but I would leave it the way I would start a game, not change it, and see what happens. I mean, you have to see. I don't know what was going through his head. You think you'd mess around with some of it in practice too. So why are we just spitballing a lineup before every other game or whenever he decided to do it while he was coaching? But yes, it was him to answer your question.
It's assistant coach, right? It's a specialty. The head coach says what he wants. The assistant coach implements the head coach's will. I don't know. That's what I thought it worked. It could be different.
I want to be the head coach. Assistant, I want to score goals on the power play. Make it happen.
What? Okay, off topic. What's one sport if you could wake up, be born tomorrow in an athlete's body, what would be the sport? Like, and I'm talking money, quality of life, everything. I know mine right away. What would you guys want to wake up tomorrow and live? Like Mr. Destiny. I don't know if you ever saw that Belushi movie.
So you guys would wake up in a different body and I'd wake up normal? Is that?
No, really, yeah, real. Josh, you never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Come on. Mine would be a relief pitcher in the major leagues.
Oh, bullpen catcher.
Good one.
Yeah. Wild Phil. I want to be Charlie Sheen in Major League. I don't want to be Charlie
give
Sheen
me
now,
like
though.
Max Scherzer vibes, like 100%. Except he's not a relief pitcher; he's a starting pitcher.
You think that's the best compliment I've ever had? Yeah, that's great. I love Scherzer. He's a psychopath.
So
I love him.
crazy. Yeah, like he's 100% a psycho.
I
don't know.
him.
I was gonna say baseball, but like, isn't like 182 games or something? Like it's something stupid. They literally play for like 10 months of the year.
Gets in my way of my things.
So I had a guy that worked for me for a long time, and Craig Counsell from the Brewers, and I think with the Marlins had like the game-winning hit in the World Series, was like his lifelong best friend. And because to your point, Victoria, what the divorce rate of Major League Baseball players once they retire is huge, because they live like their entire marriage never home.
Like
and
a
then all of a sudden
man.
they're there, and they're at a very vulnerable spot in their life because what they pursued for their entire existence is now over, and it just doesn't work with them being at home. But
yeah, it's very common amongst a lot of professional athletes. Identity, if we want to get into this on another day, identity is very different when athletes retire. It's a huge struggle, mental health wise too.
Up here, right? That got to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough. That's why Mike Modano never got married when he was playing hockey. He had a girlfriend in every city. Derek Jeter styles.
I know
Many
Louis going to
baseball
say.
players do.
Yeah.
What am I going to say?
I already know yours, because every time I come over, you're there with the ribbons. You want to be a rhythmic gymnastics.
I was going to say bowling.
That wouldn't be a bad one.
Bowling? That'd be great.
Yeah, that's why I guessed it. Yes. You'd be, if you were the champion of bowling in the world, wouldn't you be happy?
Is it a sport?
Golf's a sport. If basketball's a sport, bowling's a sport.
All right, then I'm playing pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever sport, your body wouldn't be completely wrecked when you were like 60 and your joints don't work and you can't move and stuff like that. So
looks like we just made a bowling team of 4.
Yeah, there we go.
Once a week, Victoria. Once a week. You're good.
All right. Well, thank you for that nerd report, Victoria. As a fellow nerd, I greatly appreciate. Love awesome. Data.
No problem.
A new product release is brought to you by Gongshow friend and partner Total Sports and GP Sports Cards. Grant Patterson from GP Sports Cards returns from the Upper Deck CDD conference to live break-in on YouTube tomorrow night, which is Friday for the layperson. You can find spots at gpsportcards.com. A big lineup, very eclectic, which is kind of cool. He's going to be breaking a bunch of 24-25 The Cup, There's a big 17 box mixer that has cup, stature, and grained SPA flagship and other products. There's a cool stature and clear cut mixer, which I don't know if like Dave bribed him to make that one or not, but it's completely up California Dave's alley there. Some ultimate 2425 SPA, Chasing Celebrini, Future Watch Autos, Black Diamond, anything and everything your hobby heart desires. But if you're more into ripping your own boxes, then head to Grant's Hobby Shop, Total Sports Cards in Etobicoke. Or
Etobicoke.
I know, as Canadians like to say.
You triggered me.
At totalsportcards.com, they can ship anywhere in Canada. So we're in a little bit of a lull, and we have our first 2026 product coming out this week. But as I was trying to think of, well, what are some good new product release topics? With the, I don't know if you guys have heard, but in San Jose, they've got this, I think fairly, not very known, little known prospect, Macklin Celebrini, he goes by. He's, showing a little bit of promise. He went to high school here in Minnesota at Hockey Hogwarts. Shattuck St. Mary.
School, eh?
Yeah.
Hike school, Billy.
Yeah, hike school, Billy. We all pee our pants. We're the coolest. Yeah.
So, anywho, our hobby's gone totally bananas and lost its mind over this kid. And it seems like we're at a point to like sell a kidney to buy another Celebrini Young Guns. And it got me thinking, which I know is dangerous, but is it a smart move at this point to stash away maybe some 24-25 wax? Like, could that, as Phil likes to call, be a hobby entrepreneur? And which for me means I automatically lose everything, but works out for some other people. Because what if this whole Celebrini craze won't stop? So again, we got some data from the hobby, but off the jump, I mean, what do you guys think about it? Is it time to stash some 24-25 wax?
It's an X2, X3 at most. I like buying hockey card boxes to open them. Like, how much is a McDavid box right now? What, 1,200, 1,400 Canadian? The box at the time, let's say $100. Okay, so that's almost 10 to 15x. That's a once a decade thing. I have guys trying to sell me 2018-19 Brady's rookie year. Come on, Phil, $200 for a box, $200. What the heck do I want that box for? Yeah. So I can get a $50 Brady Tkachuk rookie? No, I'm not a big believer. Listen, buying a case, I think, of stature like Dave did, and the cup. Buy a case of the cup of this year. Yeah, that would be a very smart investment. If you don't, I wouldn't even have to collect hockey cards to tell someone.
I think like it depends on the product. I assume you're talking flagship. Like if you look up what a box of 2015-16 Platinum goes for, I think it's like $700-800 US now. And what was it, $50 at the time?
So I opened that at last 2 expos ago, and I paid $1,000 for that box. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that box I used to kick. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
You're a box abuser.
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Don't.
No, I'm not.
I mean, if we're talking strictly investments, I don't know if it's worth it to hold a box that's going to 10x in 10 years when you could just like buy the dip of a card, hope whoever you've bought has this crazy breakout and you could 10x in a couple of years. If we're just talking percentages, TCG is very different. So I'm learning this in sports right now.
You buy a case of the cup this year, I guarantee you're making big premium in 5 to 10 years. If Celebrini, if he doesn't break his femur tomorrow, right? If I had that kind of bankroll right now, that is 100%, because I know my cards, right? Like, well, for the somewhat, the cup this year, even stature. Yeah, like Celebrini's is a household name at this point, right? That's a smart play. I'm not saying buy Shane Pinto's rookie year. That's a loss. Even Lane Hudson. I'd be a little more cautious about that. Celebrini, I say, is a lock.
You're only buying a case or a box or a case of any of these that we're going to talk about. It's because of Celebrini.
Yeah, it's all 24.
So the right player, I would do it. Here's the crappy thing, though. Maybe I might wind that back a bit about the case of the cup. CT scanning is a bitch. And I don't want to be, I would get really upset if someone accused me of in 10 years of CT scanning my box. I also don't want to be put in the position where that is so cheap. I just want to be curious. I don't want the bad Phil to come out of the good Phil, So,
yeah. How is sports cards different from TCG when it comes to sealed wax, Victoria?
So like right now in Pokemon, like sets are getting printed into the ground. I don't even know if it's worth holding things long term. But if you look back just around like COVID era, there were many sets, and I would say in like between 2019 or 2018 to 2021, 2022, a lot of sets had limited print runs. So if you jumped on that bandwagon and held, like I have Evolving Skies, for example, you could get that in 2020, 2021, $100 for that. It's now worth 3.1 thousand, like 3.1K in just a few years. But it's all print run demand dependent.
Yeah.
You have to know what to invest in. And like even now, if you wanted to pick up Evolving Skies, I highly recommend just like grabbing it, because maybe by the end of this year or next year, it'll be worth like 5K.
Jeez.
So
well, it's like $10
large,
for us,
wow.
Josh. We should get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
US dollar is pretty strong. One of the factors that on the sports side they have to consider, and I'm going to give like in a minute my top 5 Celebrini rookie boxes that I would stash if it's something that you wanted to do, is you have to factor like what is known to be pulled out of that product. Like I'll give a little spoiler alert. I didn't include Ultimate Collection in my top 5 because I think the Celebrini shield's already pulled. And it's like, well, what's left, right? As far as like big chases from that product at that point. And so you have to, and as more and more the cup gets open, that could be a factor too. Now there is 99 of his RPAs. And so, you know, I doubt maybe many people will know exactly how many of those have surfaced at any point, but I think that is a factor.
I don't find we have as many. I could be wrong, Victoria, you correct me, but I remember like 1999 to 2002, Pokemon exploded. Then there was that, I remember when Crosby came into the league. I remember kind of late in the 2000s, maybe even the 2000, maybe a little after Crosby. I remember seeing a lot more Pokemon. And then almost 10 years after that, it was Pokemon Go or something. So in my head, I have like 3 or 4 big waves that crash after. It's still around, but it's peaks and valleys to extreme levels. I don't feel that in hockey. Hockey cards. I completely avoided the COVID era. I did not experience this big thing that everybody else did. I came in after on the social media thing, but I didn't really feel it at my store. I've never really felt a big surge of hockey cards other than the junk wax era. I feel like it's been an organic, slow build up. So I feel that's where they're different. I feel we have a strong base, and in 2 years, Pokemon could be 90% less popular. I don't know. I have no idea. Do they have the history for it? You know?
Well, it's the biggest IP in the world. And to Victoria's point, and I don't know how true this is, but I've seen it, I think twice, where there's estimates that last year alone, they printed 10 billion Pokemon cards. So
that's not good.
No, it's the whole kind of, you know, could there be like a junk wax era for Pokemon almost now?
Well, there's another facility. There's another printing facility supposed to be opening somewhere. I don't know where, but it's like multi-million square feet in 2028. So we're thinking now in 2026, anything that is printed up until 2028 is not going to be printed in that new factory. So it might be a good idea to hoard away some of that stuff that's 2028 or 2027 and before.
That's what everyone thought in 1992 as well.
Yeah.
And Phil, is this worth anything? I'm like, sentimental value. It's fun. It's exciting. We'll see what happens. I mean, listen, if there's one thing we can agree on, I think, is that upper management at that Pokemon office, they're doing something right, and they have for a few decades now, right? So, yeah.
Well, and they have global appeal, right? There's 9 billion people, something like that, and much more. You know, hockey is very, very niche on that comparison. Okay, so we did our first hobby poll of 2026. Have you seen our hobby poll yet, Victoria?
Yeah. I voted.
Oh,
I voted yes.
Well, this is our hobby poll. It's our most prized possession here at the show. And we just asked that simple question: is it a smart move to store 24-25 wax at this point? And here's how the hobby voted, not by a major margin, but well, I guess like 60-40.
That's good. It's
almost.
fair size.
58% said yes, 42% said no. I didn't find that very shocking. Any of you guys surprised by that?
That's kind of how I feel. 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that begs the question: if it could potentially be a smart move to buy and store some wax, well, what would you buy? And so I have my top 5 list in doing that. And I started with probably the most obvious, 24-25, the cup. You know, spendy but worth it, could have the highest upside. You look at like what cases of 2015 16 or 2005 6 go for, a lot. And if Celebrini pans out to the degree many people hope, you
win big.
You could do very, very well. And, you know, the big advantage, too, of like you say, of like, well, stashing versus ripping is, as we know, you have a very low percentage of hitting the big card in any box you open, and you can't lose by the quality of the contents when you keep it sealed. It's not as fun from a hobbyist perspective, but yeah. And just an idea of like current pricing, it's sold out at Grand Shop Total Sports and actually sold out at Dave & Adams here in the U.S., which is kind of surprising. But I think at last time Dave & Adams had it in stock, it was already up to $1,800 U.S. or $1,750, something like that. So the price is already creeping up. It might be tough to get your hands on the cup at this point for a good price.
I'd like to re-bring up, and I know no one wants it brought up that's listening, but the CT scanning I think is really that's going to rear its ugly head in the hobby hamster wheel shortly, and that's the one I pay attention to. That's the one I get nervous. I mean, we're mostly singles collectors, and we're not out there buying. I mean, I did buy that Flea Retro, but that's not normal. That is concerning to me. That I am kind of keeping that in my peripheral a little bit, because that's just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I don't know if humans are born good or evil. I have no idea, but I know there's a lot of people that like money and they like lots of it, and they'll do what they have to do to get that done.
Maybe.
So, case of the cup would make me nervous, even though I think it's a good investment. Disclaimer.
Mm-hmm. The next on my list was 24-25 Series 2, a much lower cost of entry, and which I think gives you bigger percentage potential for gains, maybe even more so than the cup on a percentage wise, if not on a raw dollars. The Young Guns Parallels, of course, is what you're hunting, and for now, of course, the Gold Alpers 101 Celebrini, and that might change. The dynamic might change if that card surfaces, but you can pick up a box of 24-25 Series 2 for $349 Canadian right now at Grand Shop, or about $200 US here in the States at Dave & Adams. So again, that price is creeping up as well.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Did you say it was found? The gold outburst? No, right?
No, it's not found. But I'm saying when it is found, that could take the prices of the sealed wax could take a hit there.
Yeah, those Reddit boys, right? The king of their little castles there. They love those outbursts, so that'll be fun to watch. Yeah, I'd love to. Oh man, I'd love to get that card. Yeah.
Third on my list is 24-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. The main reason is you have so many big parallels, and it's actually pretty cheap right now. Like there were some loose boxes at a local card shop here when California Dave was here last week that were like $220 US, and I think they were. When shops don't know or aren't as in tune to hockey, they're probably just trying to get rid of them because they're $349 Canadian at Total Sports or $279 US here at the Dave & Adams. But again, even if like the Golden Treasures is pulled, you have Seismic Golds and Emerald Surge and Orange Checkers and all those parallels that will drive a lot of, and the autos as well, that will drive a lot of hobby interest. So lots of big Celebrini hits in Platinum.
Those boxes are printed, man. I would be a huge, bigger supporter of wax for O-Pee-Chee Platinum. It's one of my favorite rips. I don't know many people that do. I just feel that set is printed.
Well, that's why it might be better not to open it. And it's like
you can find O-Pee-Chee Platinum of any year, like any year you want. You can find it on eBay, and there's a lot, man. There's a lot, and there's a lot of base cards in those boxes. You know how Billy condensed the flagship. I want them to do that with platinum. I think that would be a smart play.
Next on my list, number 4 is 24-25 stature. So it's the return of stature after the hiatus. Plus, you get the benefit of the dual rookie class. So there's some Connor Bedard upside in this product as well, hedging on the Celebrini thing. You do get, we haven't mentioned too, even if Macklin doesn't work out, but Mitchkov takes off or something like that, or Hudson or some other guy, part of what makes this class attractive beyond Macklin is the depth that it appears to have too. So stature could be a good bet. Again, it's $349 Canadian at Total Sports and $260 US here at Dave and Adams. So, and then the last option I had was just SP Authentic, and for really 2 reasons. You have the Future Watch Auto iconic hockey card, and because there's 1,000 of them, you don't run the risk with other products like the Gold Alpers 101 Young Guns being pulled or something like that. I think that people will always look at a sealed box and dream of hitting that big player's Future Watch Auto in there, regardless. And so that makes it a little bit of a safer bet. And then, like I said, I didn't pick products like Ultimate that come down to 1 card, where once that card is known, it really devalues the box. So those are the ones that I would think about if you thought it's a good idea. And we're not, of course, necessarily saying that, but
Ultimate's funny. It's in 3 days, 5 big cards are pulled, and every store across North America is putting half price on their boxes.
No, I agree with
or
that.
social media isn't good for certain people, right?
Right.
Yeah, fair. All right, personal pickups. Fill up.
Bob Kiss.
Exciting. Louis?
Yeah. Nope.
Losers.
Screw you. I'm a winner. Sometimes.
Well, thank God for Victoria. You have a pickup, right?
I haven't. It's not technically not. I'm in negotiations. I think the guy ghosted me.
What? What are you trying to get?
Pull up the pic.
I'll show you. I'll break the rules.
Who's ghosting you? Oh, nice.
Nice.
A retro
it's so nice, and it's numbered. It's an 85 out of 100, and I thought it was so nice. Like, I wanted a Matthew Nyes card. This one's like fairly affordable. He's asking 160, and I'm like, yes, I would like to purchase. How can we proceed? And I don't think he's messaged me back.
Oh yeah, he hates you for sure. Is it on Instagram or eBay?
Yeah, no, Instagram.
Instagram. Well, we'll talk after. We'll see.
Phil will use his creepy ways and hunt him down and get your card, I'm sure.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Well, good luck in that pursuit.
Thanks.
I had one card that was a gift, actually, from a good listener. So very grateful for that. It's a 23-24.
Gift?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's an amazing card. Sorry for interrupting.
Hey, Phil, remember when you were getting blown up that somebody wanted to gift you a card?
Yeah.
And you had to log into EPAC and
when I was in Toronto driving? Yeah.
And you couldn't be bothered, and you were like, I'm driving. You were yelling at traffic, and your hands were waving and stuff
was
like that.
Was this the card?
I think it was one you would have actually liked better, but yeah, very similar.
Well, that's unfortunate. It'd be great to have understanding friends when I'm in a compromised place. Like, that's crazy.
Don't count.
Oh, this is Ryan. I love Ryan, but Ryan, you're so much so quick, and trust me, I am a lot quickly too. But to know Phil's driving in a snowstorm, white knuckling thing. Can you just log in? Oh my goodness! Yes, I can when I have time.
No, you lose. But I got a 23-24 EX2000 Mario Lemieux double helix achievement out of 50. It's raw. Thank you very, very much. I'm grateful for it, and it's
glad I logged in
straight into my TLBG. Yeah.
Louis, you just check your mailbox for God's sakes.
Yep, that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to log in though.
Yeah,
in a snowstorm.
Well, I did not.
Well, it's been a weird recording because we've had tech issues galore. But how did it go, Victoria? Are you okay? You survived?
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Phil, you have fun,
brother? Me? No, I don't. No, I didn't have a good time. I feel my character has been slandered, and I'm not enjoying it. Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It was great to have you, and we hope to have you again soon. If you like the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, If you're attracted to Baba Louie, well, that works too. And you want to support us and chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider $5 a month donation. Join our $999 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description with our Instagram profile, TikTok, I think, as well. You can search for Hockey Cards Gongshow on Patreon's website, and we're everywhere. You'll find it. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And folks, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Baba Louie, you know what to do. Take us out.
Bye.
It's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go.
Is it weird that I've developed emotional feelings for my cat?